Oh, hello, everyone.
It's Friday. It's everybody's favorite day of the week. Get ready to mute that. It's going to be loud.
Mute.
Oh, there was no ad. Did you guys get
today?
Did you guys get an ad? It's Friday. Everybody's favorite day of the week.
Because you opened it twice.
Oh. Well, now we know how dramatic the lag is. That was like 30 seconds. Did you guys get an ad?
It's not lag. It's intentional.
Let us know if you got an ad. We did not get an ad. That's strange. We're supposed to get ads. Weird. All right, guys.
It only does it to like 30% of your audience.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, happy Friday. We did our taxes yesterday. Did you guys do your taxes? Are your taxes done? We're not going to talk about the details of our taxes, mainly because we are not tax specialists. And if we do that, you guys are going to end up asking us tax questions that we are not qualified to answer. So, guys, happy Friday. For those who are hanging out with us for the very first time, we hang out for the first 10 minutes of every live stream just to give everybody a chance to log on. So let us know if this is your first time here. We always have like one or two who say it's their first time.
Saying they didn't pay their taxes. They got 10 days.
You still got some time.
10 days. If you made more than $400, you have to.
Yes. So go do that. So a few little quick bits. I'm still a wee bit sick, just so you guys are aware. I was very sick last weekend. This weekend, not so bad, but my throat is kind of still scratchy. So if my voice sounds weird, that's why.
I'm better though.
Yeah, he's better. We just keep passing.
Just tired.
We're passing a cold back and forth to each other. So, who saw my April Fool's prank? Did anybody see it? In the Alpha Facebook community and on my public Facebook page, Starla and the Handmade Alphas, I posted a fake webinar on April Fool's for a Justin Bieber webinar, and I made like a whole registration page for it with a button, and then you click on the button to sign up for the webinar, and it says, "I can't believe you made it this far, but okay." And then when you click on the button, it takes you to it just took you to a Justin Bieber video. But that was me like the night before April Fool's Day. I was just sitting thinking, man, I got to do something funny. And I did that at like 11 o'clock at night and published it at midnight. So for those who got a laugh out of it, yay. For those who didn't realize it's a joke, I'm sorry. I had a couple people who were like, "This is stupid. Why are you doing that?" Like, can you guys imagine if I was just serious all the time? Come on, that wouldn't be any fun.
Obnoxious. You gotta have some fun.
Yeah, come on. This is why you guys love us. We're the non-traditional coaches. We're the funny ones. That's why you're here. You're our target audience. If you don't like the funny stuff, go listen to some guy in a suit. All right, guys. So there's not going to be a Q&A next Friday. It was supposed to be this Friday, but we moved it. We are doing something super duper cool. You'll hear more about it after that Friday, though, because we can't tell you what we're doing, but we're doing something super duper neat. Like, you guys are going to be really excited when you learn what it is, but we got to keep it secret until then. So no Q&A. 1 week from today, mark your calendars. I don't want any emails in my inbox from alphas asking if we're alive, which we actually get emails like that. If we miss a Friday, like if we're sick or if our kid has something going on at our school.
Did something happen to you guys?
They love us.
We'll still get them, even though we're announcing it here. We'll still get them.
They love us. That's how much they love us. They care. They're worried. For those who did not receive my marketing calendars, and this really plays into our topic today, your marketing calendars from now until the end of the year are linked down below. There's like one of the little party horn emojis. It says, "Get my free 2019 marketing calendar PDF." Go sign up for those. They send out immediately. And then after you opt into that, I decided to make a few additional helpful like resource emails that will come after those, just to kind of get the ball rolling for you if you feel yourself kind of slipping on the motivation this year. I just wanted to give you guys a few little extra things that'll send out. So go sign up for those. They're totally free. I'm not going to sell your email or anything weird like that. Most of you are already on at least one of my email lists, just know that this isn't going to result in you like getting doubled up. This is a completely its own little list. Another thing that you might want to get in on before you start working on new product lines, obviously, is our partnership with Renee Christine. We created this thing called the Alpha Sugar Rush. That is also linked down below. There's a little lollipop and it says get free business candy from Renee Christine. She has taken 5 years worth of freebies and resources that she's created for her own community and compiled them into a series that if you sign in for it or sign up for it, you're going to receive a couple things. I think that it's over the course of 60 days, but you'll get tons of freebies and just cool things that Renee has created just for the alphas. So be sure to sign up to get all those freebies down below. So calendars are down below. Those are from me. And then Alpha Sugar Rush, that's from Renee. So look for the party horn and the lollipop emoji. Then also, and these are marked on your Alpha marketing calendars, but our HAA launch, Handmade Alpha Academy, will be opening in June. I think on the calendar, I think it's June 14th or something. It's mid-June. Yeah. So I think that's when it opens. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Something like that.
But yeah, Handmade Alpha Academy is opening this June. It's only open for 10 days. So be sure to get in on that if you have been waiting. There's going to be tons of opportunities to ask questions. I'm going to have more information. You can talk with some of our students. We'll probably do some student interviews. That way you guys can talk to some of our students who enrolled last enrollment period, which was last December. So I'll make sure that you guys have some opportunities to speak with some of our students if you're still debating. That was loud. Cats upstairs are being loud. And lastly, guys, I should
probably go check that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Probably
Taylor's mother.
Oh no, that would be bad. And then lastly, guys, I have been rallying every Friday Q&A, trying to get more subscribers more followers on Instagram. And the reason is that every Friday I would like to have the ability to link Friday Q&A right in my Instagram stories. That way, when you see the story, you can swipe up and it'll take you straight here. I only have 2,000 something followers and I need, I think, 10,000 followers in order to make it happen. I'm up to 2,616 and I think I have gained like 200 just since our Q&A with Nate, where he told everybody to go subscribe. Apparently he was more convincing than I was because more people signed up or followed me that day than ever. So super duper exciting.
Sorry, I can't stop yawning.
That's
tired.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week with this being sick and all those allergies from the weather changing.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough.
Let's see. You always make me work, Starla. I am giving you so much to do. I'm giving you so many goodies that you can go and work with. I mean, imagine if you just didn't have anything to do. You know, I wish I had all these resources when I first started on Etsy before I met Renee. Like there was nobody on YouTube who was just like, here, free, take this, take that, take this, take that. There was nobody out there. So it's a new world for you guys. We've created almost like a new culture. So be so freaking happy that you're a part of this culture now. Because when I first started on Etsy, we had a few YouTubers that aren't around anymore. But it wasn't until Renee Christine kind of jumped into the market and really started doing cool stuff. The
page froze up.
Okay.
YouTube being stupid.
Let's see, 10,000 followers. Whoa, yeah, right? That's crazy. Let's see, new guy in the party. Hi, new guy in the party. Followed you from all my accounts. Thank you. Love your shirt and headband. Thank you. We've been buying shirts from Look Human. And they have really cool like graphic baseball tees. You guys know I'm big into baseball tees. And I collect animal skulls. So I don't think that's a story I've ever told. We've got 1 minute. So as a kid, I grew up next to a railroad track, and I lived out in the country. So trains went very, very fast. There's a speed limit for trains in the city. This probably applies everywhere, but I know in the United States, there's a speed limit for trains once you actually hit the city. But out in the county, trains can go really freaking fast. And what would tend to happen is one little animal would get hit on the railroad tracks, like a little bunny or something. But then the scavengers would come and try to eat that animal, like the coyotes and things. And when they saw that train coming in the distance, their thought wasn't to get away. Their thought was to eat whatever they were eating off those tracks as quickly as possible before the train came, because they thought that train was coming to take their food. So basically, we would just find piles of like bones and things, you know, when I was a very young child, and we would take them home and clean them. And I just kind of gained this fascination for animal skulls. And I actually, before we moved from California, I traded a majority of my animal skulls because they were going to get broke moving from California to Ohio. But that's how I got my tattoo sleeve, was I traded them to a tattoo artist who wanted the skulls to decorate his tattoo studio. So there's a little fun fact for you guys. I really, really like oddities and things. And I think that it's a really cool way to salvage, you know, if you're into creepy things like that, finding them on the railroad tracks. Creepy, creepy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take a drink real quick. I always wanted to open an owl pellet. I did that in middle school. That was actually a middle school project. You can purchase lab grade owl pellets for dissection, and it's pretty cool. You find like whole little like mouse skulls and things inside them.
Have a jackalope. Creeps out the hubby.
I don't have a jackalope, but that is pretty cool. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to be talking about goal setting for your Etsy business based on my own experiences, balancing my Etsy shop with life. And you got to consider, I've also got the Handmade Alpha Academy. We have 270 students that I work very closely with. We have the free community where we have, between the Facebook group and YouTube, we have over 10,000 people. I've got my Etsy shop that I still run to this day. And then, of course, we have our 7-year-old daughter, a house full of animals, and all of the normal house chores that you have. So it is a little bit crazy, and I completely understand when you guys say that you struggle with time management. And Kerwin Ray is one of my favorite public speakers. He says you cannot manage time because everybody, no matter what, you only have 24 hours. You know, you can't manage that. You can't make more of it. You can't make less of it. It's 24 hours that everybody has. So you can't manage time, but you can manage energy. And he recommends doing that by obviously taking care of yourself, exercising, having proper diet, and all of these things really do help. Taking a multivitamin, if you know that your diet isn't super duper great,
even if it is, doesn't hurt unless you've got issues with minerals and stuff. But
right, exactly. So making sure that you're taking those multis. And for those who aren't aware, Mr. Moore, what did you go to school for?
Nutritional science.
And we used to actually bodybuild, and I know that that's really hard for people to picture.
I know, right?
But for those who have seen some of my old pictures, we were actually in contest prep, and we were planning on competing when we were in California before his back injury. It didn't go that way, but we can definitely vouch that making sure that you're maintaining that diet and just trying to fill in the gaps, those nutritional gaps, is very, very important for your energy levels. So that's my personal tip. I actually didn't have that wrote down for today, but managing your energy levels are so essential, and making sure that you're drinking water. Like that's,
it takes some time to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Like even if you're not overweight or you're not too skinny, going to the gym at least 3 days a week.
Right. It's not about losing weight. It's about
staying alive longer.
It's about having a healthy heart, having a healthy circulatory system, you know. So those
Liver,
are all
lungs, heart, brain, everything. It all benefits from working out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's talk about actual goal setting. Now, the big thing that I hear a lot of people do is they set this big goal for the end of the year. And while it's good to have an end of the year goal, like you should write it down, you should focus on something for each year. It's so much easier to set small, flexible goals. That way, if you don't meet those goals, you're not beating yourself up over it. That's like the worst thing that you can do, because you're going to discourage yourself from maintaining that momentum. But when you have these small goals on your calendar and you can check them off one by one, you get a little boost. You feel good about checking off that task and saying, I accomplished this. And it doesn't seem so far away. That way you don't have this impulse to slack off up until the last few months of the year. So you hurry up and try to meet that goal at the last minute. This should be a perpetual thing. It should be like rolling a snowball. So as I always say, guys, make sure that you make flexibility your favorite F word. Be flexible. Don't beat yourself up if you don't meet those goals, but make sure that you're allotting yourself at least one important thing each day. That's what I do. I write on my calendar my one main thing that I want to get done that day. And then if I don't get the smaller tasks done, I can carry those over to the next day. So make sure that you break those goals up. Second thing, and this is a big one when it comes to motivation. A lot of people say, I just can't stay motivated. I can't wake up every day excited. I struggle with the same thing. And I know, does. Yeah, I mean, there's some days, I'm sure you guys can tell. There's some days I get on here for Fridays, and I'm not feeling kind of meh. Yeah, I'm not feeling all that good. I'm not super awake, and you guys can tell. It's a really obvious thing for everyone around you, including your kids and your spouse, and your family, when you're just not feeling top notch. And your customers can feel that too, in the way that you advertise, in the way that you talk. And if you do anything live, like events, or if you do Facebook lives, people can really feel that through the screen. So you want to make sure that every morning you're doing at least one thing that really inspires you on the days when you're not feeling top notch. For me, every single day that I'm putting on makeup, I'm sitting and I'm watching either a podcast or some type of motivational speaking. I usually try to not listen to something that's like real informal, because I'm not going to sit and take notes on it. You know what I mean? But I listen to motivational speakers and TED Talks and things in the morning when I'm getting ready, because it's more relaxed. It doesn't take a lot for my brain to process, but at the same time, that level of energy that I'm receiving from that speaker is rubbing off on me. So you could do this through YouTube. You could read books. You could listen to a podcast. Maybe if you work a 9 to 5, listen to something on your way to work. Listen to it when you're getting ready for work. But just make sure that you're doing something every morning. And there's a lot of mornings where he sits and listens to like a lot of guitar videos and things, because he's a musician. He actually has a show this Sunday with Saving Abel, which they're a pretty big band if you guys aren't familiar. But he gets up and listens to guitar videos, and I'll just sit on the couch and, immediately read a book with breakfast. And that kind of gives me that boost, and it just gets my brain moving a little bit. So definitely consider having a routine where you're putting yourself in that mood, where it's almost like a anything's possible mood. That's how I like to describe it. I wish I had a manager that told me she knew what kind of day I would have by my voice when I would do my daily check-in. She was so right. Yeah, that's you can tell. Like people can feed off of that energy that you're giving out. So you want to make sure that you're able to put your best foot forward, especially if you're working any job where you're going to be communicating eye to eye with people.
Super important.
So another thing, I always get asked, what do I use to stay organized? What do I do to kind of organize my day? And Mark and I use an app called Cozy. I pay $30 for their premium, but you don't have to pay for a premium app. It's free. The normal version is free. It is COZI. And basically what Cozy does.
They're not going to be able to see that.
It takes a second. See upcoming events. It says father-daughter dance. My daughter has a dance with him tonight, and I've got his birthday programmed in. You can do grocery lists in there. So there's all kinds of cool things that you can put in here, but there's also a calendar that will text notifications to every member of the family. So if you've got your spouse programmed in here and you need your spouse to pick up something at the grocery store, you can put it in the calendar and it'll show up. So this is
if you work and you want your kids to do something when they get home, or
if they've got a phone?
Yeah, say you get home at like 5 in the afternoon or whatever, single parent, whatnot. You can program stuff like their whole schedule, like what you need them to do throughout the week while they're home before you get home from work, that kind of thing.
And sweetheart, can you type cozy in there so they know how to spell it? And you can get that in the App Store. So I highly recommend snagging it. And the paid features, the only real difference that you get is you can add in birthdays and a few things, but there's not a whole lot of a difference. You really don't need the paid version. All right. So next big thing that I want to talk about is accountability and holding yourself accountable. Now, on average, it takes 66 to 67 days to form a habit. And this is where people struggle the most. Now, how many of you started a business because you wanted more freedom? You wanted to be able to create your own schedule. You wanted to be able to manage your own time. You wanted to be your own boss. How many of you started a business so you would have more time? Let me know in the comments. How many? I have the free version. Do my grocery list on it. Let's see. Mark, that's so awesome. I love saving Abel.
We're going to blow him off the stage. That's okay.
Let's see. That's a good
Full
app.
of myself.
Let's see. Me.
It's pronounced meme.
Me. More time plus PJs all day. Me. I was a single mom. Me. All right. So most of you are saying that that's why you started business, right? Now, for the freedom. Now tell me this. How's that going for you? Do you feel more free? Or do you feel like you got more to do? Do you feel like you got infinite time now? Or do you feel like you have less time than ever? Right? So that is the big thing about setting these habits, okay? 66 to 67 days for a new habit to form. That's how you program your brain. You create new neural pathways in your brain, okay? And it's the habit that sets you free. Does that make sense? So once at first, that habit is really hard to get to click because you have to do it every day. Oh, I don't want to get up this early, and it's really painful at first. But once it becomes a habit, once it becomes a pattern in your brain and you're doing it naturally and you're on autopilot, that is when the freedom really kicks in. And it's creating these systems where you almost are able to work on autopilot. And, a lot of people say that they struggle with motivation in general. I can't get up every day. I don't want to, there's some days that I just can't. And every once in a while, that's fine. We do it. But the thing is about motivation is you will never be motivated 100% of the time.
No.
Remember, everybody think back to a time when they were going to start a new diet and you threw out all the junk food and you made yourself like a meal schedule or some type of calendar to work out. You got all your planning done. And then you went to the grocery store and you got all your healthy food and you were super excited. And the first day, you were cooking all your healthy meals and you went to the gym and it felt great. And you were so excited. And then day 2 kicked in and it was still pretty exciting. You're feeling good. But then maybe like 3 or 4 days later, it's not so fun anymore. And you're
like,
feeling
crap, I just want some pancakes.
You're feeling tired. You don't want to go to the gym that day. Oh man, I'm craving a burger, and all these things start kicking in, right? Motivation is the exact same way. And you're never going to be as motivated 10 days, from your start as you were day 1 when you were planning. That's just kind of how it goes. But when you form these habits and you get up and you do it anyway, that's the big key. You have to do it anyway. You form these habits and they become natural, like brushing your teeth. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You don't think about how it's, it's taking up time in my day, or taking a shower, or getting dressed in the morning. None of these things, you're not thinking about them in terms of how much time they're going to take and whether or not you want to do them. You just know that you have to do them. And that is what habit forming really is. So making sure that you're holding yourself accountable, getting up every day, even if you don't want to, and doing the things that you need to do to align with the goals that you've set for that week. And that's why these small digestible goals are really important. What's everybody saying? Let's see. 2 kids, wedding, full-time job, Etsy business. Only part of the reason it was really to pursue my passion. Time management is what I struggle with a lot. Now I can work around life, not the other way around. Story of my life. All this talk of food is making me hungry. All right.
I'm pretty hungry too.
So
I feel you.
Once you get to the point where you have a little bit of disposable money, and this is where it starts out, a little bit hard. It's easier when you've got, like teenage kids who can do chores and things. But for those of you who struggle to keep up with the housework and everything that you need to do in a week, when you have a little bit of disposable money, do not be afraid to hire out small tasks. And we started doing this last year. We hired, we saw a guy with like this really professional lawn care setup mowing our neighbor's yard. She's like a really nice old lady, and he was over there mowing her grass, and we flagged him down and we're like, hey, you want to do ours? And he charged us $50 a week. And I'm assuming we're going to hire him again this year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we hired,
it's like 4 hours a week. I don't have to spend outside mowing our like almost acre of land.
Yeah. So we we just hire out lawn service, and it's really, really helpful. And it, I know that $50 a week is too much for some of you, but what you can do instead, if you've got kids, if there's kids in your neighborhood who can help you with things like lawn service, if you've got, maybe like a little niece or nephew who wants to make a little extra money, having them come over, helping you around the house. There's so many options. And like Paula Haas, one of our HAA students, and now she's a business coach. So big freaking hats off to Paula. You guys love her. We need to bring her back for a Q&A. But Paula traded product for help. So she does skincare products, and she would actually trade products for help hiring out, these little tasks. So there's infinite ways that you can do this. My nose is just so bad.
They're planning on hiring a maid. I was actually just looking into that too.
Yeah,
I do the majority of like the actual housework and stuff because she does all the academy stuff.
Yeah.
And I just help you guys when you have issues. So I'm not busy all the time. But I am recently, especially with the music stuff. The music stuff is making me super busy.
So, and then the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and this is something that is very important to us, is setting work hours for yourself. And it may feel nice on some days to work until like right before bed.
If you're bored and you don't want to do anything else and you're just like, I'm in the swing of it, there's nothing wrong with working a little late.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Don't make a habit of it.
But at night, our big thing is usually when our daughter goes to bed around 9 o'clock, we're done. And we sit down and we hang out and we watch silly videos, and we make sure that our mind, unless there's something like really time sensitive that I need to work on, like for example, right before Handmade Alpha Academy launches, I will be at my desk probably, for at least a week, morning till night, just getting ready. But after that, we always go back into this flow where we've set work hours for ourselves and we don't exceed those. And we do not work on Saturdays and Sundays. All of our Handmade Alpha Academy students know that. They know to not expect, email responses from us on Saturdays and Sundays unless it's an emergency.
Those are my busiest days.
Right. We make sure that those are days that we get to rest and to reflect and to get ourselves ready for the next week. And everybody needs that. You guys can't work 100% all of the time. You have to take some time to breathe, to recollect, to spend with your family. Because otherwise, what's all this for? Why are you even doing this? Why are you starting a business if you're not taking care of yourself? And if not for your family, then who's it for? So you got to make sure that you're taking that time to spend on self-care and, really doing the things that are going to make you happy. Because years down the line, if you're not spending time with your kids, you're going to have a lot of regrets. So make sure that you are giving yourself that time, even if it's just enough time to sit and watch a movie, at the end of the day with your children. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and check and see. Those are my tips. And I cannot believe I did those so fast. So maybe
that was quick.
Some
questions.
Those were some quick tips. Make sure that if you guys missed it, down in the comments, if you need help with organization, my 2019 marketing calendars are down there for free. You can grab those. There's a little the little party horn emoji is down beside there. They are in PDF form and you can download them immediately when you sign up. So super duper exciting. I've got lots of tips kind of poked in there about when it's a good time to start advertising, different sale ideas and things like that. Setting business hours is so hard. We have 3 daughters and my hubby works shifts. So it's a constant twitch of schedule. That's where that flexibility comes in. Things are going to have to change for you, you know, on possibly a daily to weekly basis. But if you at least have a baseline of the things that you want to get done each day, it does make things a lot easier.
Yep. One big thing in the military, we had our goal setting that we did, and we did 4 categories. You did like your short term, which weren't even really goals. It was just kind of like, crap, I need to get done this month. So you have like your 1 month goals, and then you have your 3 to 6 month goals, and then you have your like 6 months to 5 years, and then you have your 5+ years. And the longer they are, the more unrealistic they can be. But obviously keeping your goals realistic is the biggest point. So
yeah,
your goals that are like 5 years or less, you should keep realistic. Anything longer than that, you can be like, oh, I want to have a Ferrari in 10 years. Fine, do whatever. But your goals should be realistic.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only making like $100 a month on Etsy, make sure that you're not setting a goal that you're going to make like $1 million by, you know, in the next 365 days. And
try to differentiate the difference between goals and stuff you have to do. Like, oh, I want to get all my orders shipped out. That's not a goal. You know, my goal is like, I want to increase by X% of sales by X time. That's a goal.
Let's see. Friday evenings for HA and Renee live trainings are the only time I really work past 5 p.m. during the week. But y'all get to help me cook supper. Yay! Let's see. I kind of work 7 days a week mostly, but I do take time off in the evening for gaming with my friends. I don't have kids and I'm single, so I don't mind. And that, you know, that does make it a lot easier because the only person that your presence or lack of is influencing is yourself. So it does make things a lot easier, and enjoy that time. If you are single, you have so much potential to grow and get your life where you want it to be. You know, it's not that I absolutely don't regret having my daughter young. She's 7. I had her when I was 19, and she was planned because he had just gotten in the military. But we did that thinking ahead in the future, how by the time, you know, we're in our 30s, she will be self-sufficient. So we had a plan for that. But when I look at it now, I think about how I kind of wish that I would have really secured my financial goals first before jumping in. But, you know, that's kind of what you do when you're young, right? You decide that you're going to start a family.
She'll be 18 when I'm 38. I'm happy.
Yeah. And
I'm happy. She'll probably be out of the house by the time I'm 40. We'll get to settle down and just relax. We're only having one. No, that's not going to change. No.
we are.
If we want another one, we'll adopt one that's 17. So I only got to deal with it for a year and we'll be done.
Our daughter says she's going to adopt. I think it's the cutest thing. She's like, she's only 7 and she's like, I'm going to adopt a kid who needs a home. I'm like, how do you know
if a goal is realistic or achievable? Don't think too hard about that. I mean, if it sounds like something that it could be possible, then it's a realistic goal.
The thing is,
don't think too hard.
Every goal is achievable, but it really depends on your schedule and how much time you have to work into it, you know? So, well, tell us a little bit about your goal, Emma. What is your goal? Like, do you have a goal in mind? And then you need to look at how you're currently doing, and are you steadily progressing towards that goal? If you're steadily progressing in that direction, and you know that the number or the I guess, you know, milestone that you're trying to reach is within view, within sight, and you can kind of look at how you're progressing forward and predict, you know, if you're getting close, then yeah, I don't really think that there's a limit, but don't go crazy and say that you're going to like go buy a Ferrari in the next, like, you know, year. Cause I think that's where things get a little crazy. It's totally possible. I'm not telling you that it's not possible.
No, I mean, like if you like our goal with the band, for instance, we haven't even been playing shows for 6 months. Our goal obviously would be signed by a record label and even just to be talking to one. And in 2 months, on June 15th, as a matter of fact, we're playing in front of talent scouts for Summer Records, which is one of the biggest record labels in the world. So anything is possible. It's just about how much work you're willing or able to put in and whether or not it's actually realistic. But like I said, don't think too hard about it.
Leftover Hippie said, make sure your goals are measurable. I see so many saying, I want to increase sales. Let's see. How would you even know?
How would you even know?
If you achieve that numbers and dates, people. Yes. I was trying to connect the autocorrect. Let's see. Let's see. Yay, Teen Mom here too.
Luminaria, I read your comments on here too. I would recommend going back and watching some of our previous videos. It sounds like you're pretty new to Etsy. So I would go through our channel, check out some of our stuff on photo editing, on product launches, on all that kind of stuff, and just kind of browse through for a little while and get some more info there.
Yeah, we have hundreds of hours worth of free content on our channel. So just give it a little scroll and treat it like homework, you know, for a weekend. Get a notebook, take notes. We have some alphas who literally sit at coffee shops, like they can't join live. So every Saturday, we've got 3 or 4 alphas who go to a coffee shop and they sit and take notes on all of our videos. So good plan, Mark. Kids are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Everyone has trials and struggles and blocks to being successful, even people who aren't / can't be parents. Yep. Let's see.
If you reserve weekends for family, do you respond to Etsy customer questions on Saturday or Sundays, or wait till Monday? If we have nothing to do, we'll do it. But Saturdays, for the most part, we just we cut everything out.
I think it really depends. And you know what? Your customers aren't going to freak out if you don't reply on Saturdays and Sundays. I've never had anybody upset. And if I do have someone who
it's only damage control, really.
Right.
If you need to do damage control, something broke, something got lost, something didn't arrive, that obviously you want to try to respond to those if you can.
Right. It never hurts to respond. If it's only going to take you a minute, that's fine. But when it comes, like, for example, I get a lot of questions about custom orders, which I don't accept right now. So I'll like for those, I'll give them some time and I'll wait until Monday. But I always say, like, I hope you had a great weekend. And I put something in there that lets them know that I take those weekends off. I'm like, you know, apologies for the delay. Hope you had a great weekend. Here's the answer to your question. Have a great start to your week. So, you know, usually throwing in, I hope you had a great weekend is a good way to transition into their question or answering their question if you don't want to work on your weekends. But that's up to you guys. You can totally respond to Etsy questions on the weekend. I'm just saying, don't sit and slave on, and it doesn't need to be the weekends. Just give yourself 2 days a week. They don't even need to be consecutive. If you work for
yourself and don't have a normal job, don't worry about the whole Saturday, Sunday thing. Unless you got a kid in school, then it gets a little more forced. But set whatever days you want.
Right. Just give yourself 2 days.
If you got yoga class on Wednesday that you want to do and you want to make that your chill day, do that.
Exactly.
Take Wednesday off, do your yoga, get your coffee, and do your thing.
I'm working 12 hours a day since I joined HTU just because I want to, but I know when I need a break. And it's really fun too. Like when you join a new course, it's really fun and you want to put a lot of time into it, and that's fine. You know, but just, you know, if you feel yourself getting burned out, make sure that you're taking that time away. But I think when it comes to education, it's not that big a deal, you know. Let's see. SMART goals. Exactly.
No more questions. Throw us some questions.
Any questions, guys? I get out into the country when I need a break. I just like driving my car with the radio on. That's what I do. I play
my music very loud.
Yep, I drive my car with the radio on. I have a really nice car, for those who didn't know. I love my car.
I like the video games.
Let's see. Downtime is when the best ideas come into your head. Much research has been done on this.
Carry a little notepad with you.
Yep.
If you're a dude, keep it at just one of the little, like, 2x4, whatever.
Or the memo pad in your phone.
3x5s, or just send Facebook messages to yourself.
Yep.
You can do that. You just go into your messenger and type your name in. It'll be the first one that pops up.
I definitely need to take weekends off. It keeps me sane. Absolutely.
I'm always crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow, I dropped the top. Drive to Germany, blast the tunes. Best thing ever. I wish that we could just drive to another country.
We can.
We could drive to Canada.
But I don't have anything I want. So.
We've got Canada and we've got Mexico.
I love syrup on pancakes. So, and I heard their beer's good. I heard there's some good beer in Canada.
Oh man,
I could go for some Canadian
Anthony,
beer. I'm sure Anthony knows.
I was gonna say,
I don't know if he drinks or not. So
Anthony Wolf is gonna. Well, for those who weren't aware, Anthony Wolf, he's from Australia, but he lived in Canada for several years, and now he lives within driving distance of us.
And my foot's completely asleep.
Well, wake it up. Let's see.
We have stronger beer up here. I'm gonna go and say that the Europeans have anyone beat by any measure of the imagination on strength of beer. The Europeans know what's up.
He used to like try like one of every craft beer when he was in the military.
Yeah.
Like he was.
I would go on the weekends. I would have weekends for me were usually either like Sunday through Wednesday or Wednesday through Saturday. We would go to Total Wine for those of you who know what that is. It's like a warehouse for alcohol. But I would go and I would get one beer for each day of my weekends. Just one beer. It's a like gigantic wine bottle sized beer. But yeah,
we don't drink anymore. For those who are wondering,
we don't. I used to drink quite. I mean, I didn't drink a lot. I drank one beer a day.
He was in the military, so there was a lot of stress there. But that's why he's not in there anymore.
Yeah. My favorite's Golden Drock. If you haven't had it, you should try it. It's delicious.
Laura, I have to take a nap in the middle of the day since going to bed late when working on my business. Weekdays are movie and family time unless everyone is gaming or working on setting up their own video. Yeah, we nap a lot. That's one thing that a lot of people don't know about us. We nap a lot. And I think that that's really important. I mean, if
you're tired, sleep. Your body's telling you that you're freaking tired. Obviously, if you're like an oversleeper and you sleep like 16 hours a day, your body's just forcing you to do that.
Right.
But like get your 8 hours.
Yeah. And if I'm working and I just can't focus, I'll tell him, I'm like, I need to lay down for a while.
Pop down for an hour, wake me up, set an alarm for me.
I do it all the time.
So do I.
I take hour naps all the time. Let's see. I work my day job as a personal trainer all week and do my art business all weekend, but save Sunday afternoon for active hiking day dates with my boyfriend. It's so good for the mind. Yes, absolutely. What we call those active work days, right?
Huh?
Active work days, like for days, workout days where you're working out, but or active rest day. I'm sorry. Active rest day. Active rest day.
Sorry, I was reading. You caught me off guard with a question.
Is there a question in here?
Yeah. Any tips on getting your mojo back when you're in a creative slump? Watch motivational stuff. Listen to motivational stuff. Read a book. Yeah,
that listening to other people who are already highly motivated. I mean, it's really beneficial if you can get yourself in like a group of other business owners locally, like meeting at a coffee shop, talking to people who are like-minded and, getting your creative juices flowing so you have the opportunity to really discuss. But if you don't have the ability to actually talk to another person, it's also equally as beneficial to listen to podcasts and YouTube videos, or even reading a book. And reading for me doesn't do it as much as actually watching someone on screen, because seeing everyone's watching someone's body language, watching their eyes, seeing how they move, seeing their excitement, you feed off of that. You almost take their energy and make it a part of you. Something that I've been doing a lot of recently is, you guys know Nate. And you guys know Anthony Wolf. I can't talk about what we're doing, but we're working on something. And every week we get on a Google Hangout and the three of us talk. And that kind of propels me through the week, because there's just so much discussion and, motivation going on in there, that I feel like I have a lot better ideas, and I feel like I walk into the week with better ideas. So having people that you can talk to is really important. And if you need to do it, excuse me, use the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. Talk in there if it's the only place that you have to talk, and that's linked down below. You guys are free to join, start discussions. If you want to pop in and do Facebook lives in there to kind of practice being a little bit more social, you're more than welcome to, as long as you're not advertising, any of your products or anything, because we don't allow advertising. But you're more than welcome to get in there and practice doing Facebook lives and things in there. I absolutely don't mind.
A lot of people say, one person said they wake up at 3 to 5 a.m. because I love my work. I'm also up at 3 or 4 a.m. You people need locked up. Something wrong with you waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Man, I wake up at 5:50.
Y'all are crazy.
5:50 in the morning?
No, she doesn't. She wakes up at 6:10 when our third alarm goes off.
That's
just
true.
like me.
That's true. It's set
We're
for
not
5:50.
morning people in the least bit. Let's
Nope.
see here. How do you find time to create fresh new ideas and products? Anytime you have free time.
Yep, you got to schedule it in. If it is important, you got to find a way to get it on your schedule and take out things on your schedule that are sucking up your time. And here's one day, and this is a big part of Handmade Alpha Academy. We talk about this, but there was one day when I was just kind of monitoring how much every time I would pick up my phone, and I wasn't trying to stop, you know, I was just monitoring when I was doing it. I would pick up my phone and I was kind of monitoring how much I was scrolling through Facebook, but I totaled it all together and it equaled throughout the whole day. All together, it came out to like 2 hours of just me scrolling through my Facebook here and there, you know, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. And I realized, wow, if I were to take all that time, put it together, look at all the time that I would have to be doing anything else other than reading all my friends on Facebook, you know, their drama. So
I don't even get on Facebook anymore other than to like look at memes.
There is so much, like there are always so many small things in your day that can be either removed or condensed that we don't realize. Another big thing is going to the grocery store and kind of like strolling around and weighing all of your options when it comes to, I want that, like just make a choice. You know, that's another big thing. I have learned to make faster choices after reading a book called The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. I highly recommend reading it. It talks about how spending time on choices and having too many choices actually makes us a more unhappy society. And it actually talks about how people who have less freedom in other countries, these countries tend to have happier people. And it's really weird how this works. And a lot of people want to debate it, but the science is in the book. So I highly recommend reading it. But this book will really open your eyes to how much time you spend trying to make decisions on things that really aren't going to impact your overall happiness. So when it comes to picking out things like which, you know, brand of pasta you're going to make for dinner, just grab one. You're not going to be unhappy with your choice. Just grab it. It's not going to influence your day, but it is going to save you time. So I highly recommend that book, The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz.
How do you guys stay focused during designated work hours?
You have to treat it like a job. Yeah, it has to be your job, and it's hard.
So yeah, when it comes to staying focused, that's either one of two things. You're not engrossed in your work, so you're not interested in it, or it's a discipline thing. Focus the majority of the time is a discipline thing, and especially if you're kind of new to it. You're not used to doing your own thing, not used to telling yourself what to do instead of somebody else telling you what to do. You really, really have to get that discipline rolling along, or get yourself interested in the work. If it's not a discipline problem, then it's just a straight up focus problem and you're not interested. So you got to get yourself interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. And if you find yourself having trouble focusing, something that I personally use, this is my jar of toys. I have squishies. I have 2 different fidget cubes in here. I got this one looks like a little game controller, but it has different buttons and clickers and different knobs and things. I do have a fidget spinner. It's wolves. Can you see them? And I have, this is just a squishy string. And I bought all of these on eBay for like a few cents, and they help me a lot. I have trouble focusing when I'm doing webinars. If I'm talking to you guys for a really long time, when I'm doing really in-depth webinars, I almost always have this little guy, this little squishy sushi in my hand. And it just helps me kind of stay on track. And I don't know if that'll help you guys, but I know that they definitely help me. So maybe try experimenting with fidget toys. I know that fidget spinners are like the trendy thing that all the kids are doing, but if you find yourself struggling to focus, it may be something to consider because they definitely help me.
Somebody asked you, did you say if you made over $400 in Etsy, you file taxes? If you made $400 in anything from self-employment, you are required to pay self-employment tax. Social Security, Medicare, 15.3% of your income. Yes. I don't give tax advice, but I know that to be a fact. If you live in the United States, you are required to file for self-employment tax if you made more than $400. Yes. If you made $100, you should do it. It's just keeping the government off your back is in your best interest pretty much 100% of the time.
Yep. We owed a lot of money our first year in business because we misunderstood some of our tax laws.
We filed, we just didn't do it right.
Yeah. And, you know, I highly recommend having a personal accountant who is well-read in business.
Again, we're not tax professionals. As of the tax year 2018, $400 was the minimum limit.
But always, don't take everything that we say with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
and
that I know to be a fact, though. You don't have to worry. That I know for a fact. If you made $400, you're required to pay self-employment tax for Social Security and Medicare.
Let's see
here. I have so many orders right now that I'm feeling I just don't want to do any of them. I don't want it to turn into. This is not enjoyable for me anymore. I don't want it to turn into Word. Any advice?
I think she's saying she doesn't want it to turn, and then there was one above that. I think she's trying to say that she doesn't want it to turn into her not being able to enjoy it anymore. The thing is, it's going to happen. You know, your first day working at your new job feels fun, and then a few weeks into it, it's just work. And I mean, you're not always going to enjoy it. You have to consider, I've been making skeleton key necklaces for going on 7 years now, and I don't love it all the time. You know, I love the freedom that it gives me, and I love making my customers happy. And there are times when I really love it, but there's also times when I really just don't want to do it. And I feel super duper lazy and I feel unmotivated, but you have to keep moving because you have to remind yourself, like, why did you start in the first place? How are you going to feel a year from now if you give up and you look back on this? You know, are you going to be happy that you quit? Are you going to be happy that you kept moving? Are you going to be happy that you potentially let go of a really great opportunity for your life and your financial situation? Or are you going to regret having given up that opportunity? So I always recommend doing everything that you can to stay motivated. And I know that it's hard, but watch videos, make sure that you are just really reflecting on the benefit of what you're doing, and learn to love every single step of the process. You know, that is my big advice, because success is not a destination. That's even at the bottom of the Handmade Alpha Academy website. Success is not a destination. It's a lifelong journey, and you have to learn to love the process. Otherwise, you will never be happy. You're never going to reach success. You're always every time you get there, the bar will raise and you'll want more.
The other question was, how do you accommodate this and regular work into their day, and how many hours at a public job should I do to it? We can't tell you exactly how much you need to be working. So basically, what you need to do is just take your work time that you need to survive. If you're just starting, do not rely on your Etsy business to survive. Please.
No,
don't do that to yourself. If you're single, you're probably just going to have to make some sacrifices. You have to take your work time, and then whatever other time you have, if you have, say, 5 hours after you get off of work, you got to split that. Obviously, you need some time to eat and whatnot. Do whatever you can to give yourself the most amount of time at the end of the day. Start slow. And then once your Etsy business is to a point where it's sustainable, grow it a little bit more than that. And then you can start thinking about quitting your job.
Yeah.
That's about all I can really tell you for that.
We never, ever recommend quitting your job before you. And we have, every year when we open, I say every year, but we've only opened Handmade Alpha Academy twice. So both times that we've opened, we've had people say that they're gonna like sell their car and they're gonna do this and that to try to get in. And we tell them that if they enroll, we will refund them and we will not let them in the course because they are not ready. That is not, our course is not for people who only have $100, to live on.
I don't want your money.
Right.
I would rather you save it and put it towards something you need.
Yeah. You need to work on you. You need to work on your financial situations. You need to make sure that you get to the point where you are able to invest in higher education. Until then, free resources, books, YouTube, podcasts,
we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. We're not going anywhere. Once you get to the point where you feel like you can, afford a higher level of education, such as HAA. HAA is going to help you to open a lot more doors so that you have that, that disposable income ready. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Sure. Like,
and don't just, once your Etsy business gets to a point where you're almost making as much money as your job, you're not there yet. Grow it a little bit more, so you're making a little bit more money than what you're making. Because especially if it's your first year and you
there
haven't
might be
paid,
a slow month.
Well,
you know?
if you haven't paid taxes or you've only been doing it for a year or so, you might not be making as much money as you think you are once tax season comes around. So just be real careful with how you do that. And I honestly, especially if you're a single person, if you can work and run your Etsy business and it doesn't absolutely drive you into an early grave, do that as long as possible, because all your job is going to be is extra money at that point, especially if you're single. You've got all the time in the world if you're single with no kids.
Let's see. Whoa, $400.
Yeah, I know, right?
I owe $2,300 this year
because I missed my taxes.
Oh yeah, that stinks.
Let's see here. Tax part of it makes me not want to continue my Etsy store. What do you suggest I do? I suggest that you pay your taxes, and if you can't pay them in time, there are payment plan options available for if you're in the United States, there's payment plans available to the IRS. And you set how much you pay. They don't, you do.
It was so complicated right off. That's business. Like, are you going to be,
oh my God. Yeah.
It's you're a business owner. You have to get business minded. And I know that the crafting and all that, that's all fun. But if you are a business, you have to treat it like you are a business. And I know that it sucks, and you're not going to learn it all in 1 year, and you're going to make mistakes. But this comes in where you have to find a good accountant who's going to do these things for you so that you don't have to remember all this stuff. That is an accountant's job. It sounds very much like you need an accountant. So I would highly recommend getting.
It really does. Wait till you get to a point till your business is big enough that you're looking into making yourself a C Corp or like an LLC or something like that. Like, it gets 10 times more complicated and convoluted, and you don't want to do it yourself.
We won't tell you how much we paid in taxes this year, but do you want to tell them the percent? It's like 30.
No, percent we paid 22, but it still hurt. It still hurt quite a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you for the fidget toys.
We probably could have bought like a brand new sports car with
we could have paid off. We could have bought our car.
Yeah. It was crazy this year.
Yeah, they get you.
And we live in like a little tiny house. Like, we live in a tiny little house in a tiny little neighborhood.
That's kind of part of it though, because we don't own this property. We're doing this off paper. Like, we're filing and everything for how much money we're paying my grandma for this house, but we're not doing it through like a mortgage or no contracts or anything like that. Basically, I'm just in the will. If I pay it off before she passes away, then I pay it off. If not, we just get the house. So
we just give her money so she can do vacays and stuff and have fun.
But enough about tax stuff. Again, we're not tax specialists.
Let's see.
That's all the questions as far as I can see.
Any last minute questions, guys? Save all your receipts. Yes, save all your receipts. Every single paper clip. Save every single receipt. Everything. Yep. We write off every single piece of paper that we use for our business, like every single item. And you can pay, if you use your phone, you can, write off a percentage of your phone. You can write off gas mileage. We were able to write off clothes that we bought for our public speaking events this year.
Don't write off anything you don't have in paper.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
B said, log your miles.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, if you were to drive to, say, the hardware store to grab something that you need, that drive there is a business expense. But if you were to drive from the hardware store to a restaurant and then home, none of that, all of that becomes not a business expense anymore.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated. Again, get an accountant, get somebody that knows their taxes, and do it with a professional.
Carmen said a trust is better than a will.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
It's his grandma. So
this house has been in the family for
we're not too worried about it.
I thought you couldn't claim clothes. It depends on the purpose, but again, we're not doing tax stuff.
Yep. We talked to our accountant. She said as long as it is for event purposes only and we're not wearing those outfits for anything else, which we're not, then it is fine.
What do you recommend to prioritize and organize your day to do so? Do you use Cozy for that? Yeah.
Yep.
Most of the time, Cozy is just for important events. We're usually cognitive enough to
I use Cozy, and I am very old school. I use
calendars.
Yep, I have a calendar. I write everything in. I'll pull up last month. Here's an example of how last month looked. So I just write everything in my planner book.
What's the deadline for the unboxing? There isn't one.
We don't have deadlines.
Nope. We had 8 to 12 products, just depending on the size.
Yep. we don't have, I haven't checked our PO box this week, but as of right now, we had only had 2, but a couple people were mailing them. So
I know Amber.
Yeah,
was sending something out.
We infinitely are going to be collecting and doing giveaways. We're not planning on stopping them, so there's no deadline.
Nope.
Unless
you're putting something like a perishable packaged food in there for us to try, put something on the outside of the box to let us know, just in case it takes like 6 months to get them. I don't want a bunch of rotten food sitting in there.
I suggest setting aside a small percent of each sale, 10% at least, to help with taxes. Oh, of course. Make sure that
our tax lady wants us to put 35% of every penny we make.
Yep, 35%. And if we have more than that, she was like, well, if you end up with more, then you get to take a vacation. Yeah. Like she's like, so
that's how much I saved for last year. We saved about 35-ish, 30 to 35%. We ended up paying 22, so we came out with about 8 to however much percent.
Let's see. I sent something for you guys. It might be in our PO box, so I will be sure to check.
If you hand out business cards on vacation, it becomes a business trip.
No,
I
don't think that's how that works.
I don't think so.
You might
be careful about that, because the trip itself, I think, has to be, well, again, no tax stuff.
No tax stuff. We're not qualified. Talk to your accountants.
Said the Microsoft calendar offers a lot of options for planning. I used the Google Calendar, but she didn't come up with it, so we didn't use that idea. We used Cozy instead. If you hand out,
what do you think?
We
what
just
is
have
good
Google
revenue for a month? Like, what is good revenue for a month? Like, sustain? We can't.
I can't tell you that.
That is going to depend on how much your rent is.
That's not even like a country thing. Like me moving one city over, it changes like $20,000. So it's
sustainable. Sustainable is how much money you personally need to live based on your bills, what you eat, and the house that you live in, and your gas.
Can you afford your house? Can you afford all your bills? Can you afford your food? Can you afford leisure time? Yes, leisure time is a necessity, whether or not people think so.
And are you going to be safe if you have a slow month on Etsy where you don't sell anything?
And can you put back at least 5% of your income? 5% is like the absolute minimum. I'm putting back 20 right now. 20%.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you got to draw from it. That's fine. You put more than you need to put in there.
Karen, so you're saying that for every penny that comes in, you set aside 35%. We do.
Yeah.
We're smart young people.
That's not our money.
That's not our money.
That's not our money, because the thing is you never know when tax laws are going to change. Like from 2017 to 2018, 2017, for this year's taxes, we got a 20% deduction for just being a small business sole proprietor. We did not get that for 2017 tax year. Things change drastically over the course of a year sometimes. So this year we were in the 22% tax bracket. Next year we might end up in the 35% tax bracket.
We never know.
You never know. So just it's better to be safe than sorry. And we make quarterly tax payments. So our actual payments are based off of 25% of what we made the previous year. So we don't pay the full 35% in, but if something happens at the end of the year when we file, or at the beginning of the year when we file for the previous year, we have that extra set aside.
Misty, she said, can you pay all of your expenses and put some into savings? That's what would be sustainable.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
That's sustainable.
And not even just you need money for leisure time too. I cannot stress that enough. Like if you have all of your bills paid and you put, we'll just say you put like 10% back into taxes and you've got like $50 left over for the month, that's probably not okay. You're going to need some money, like even just to go out to eat every once in a while,
Brian said, how do you keep your workspace clean? It's so hard to stay organized when commissions roll in. My workspace is not clean. Your workspace will not be clean. Does anybody in the comments right now, unless you just cleaned it, does your workspace stay clean? Post in the comments. I bet everyone's going to say no. There might be like 2 or 3 OCD people who will say yes, but no.
Our house is a damn wreck.
Yeah. Like
we've had a busy week. Sometimes it just happens.
It does. Sometimes
it just happens. I'm so ready. Like 2 more years when our kid can do everything that I got to do.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. 10 years from now, are you going to remember the pile of dirty laundry that is laying beside the washer? Or are you going to think about all the money that you made that year busting your butt. Absolutely not.
You're
Not a chance. Not.
Or what you did with that money that you made that year. That's what I remember.
Emma is, I'm OCD perfectionist. So Emma is 1, but everybody else is like, nope, 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 nope. Yeah.
The thing is, she's OCD perfectionist too, but she doesn't have the time to do any of it. So when I don't have the time to do any of it, it's more just she's just angry at me all day.
I am very OCD.
The dishes didn't get done. Like, I was gone for 9 hours. I'm sorry.
I keep, like, my desk, it's cluttered right now because I've been working at it, but my computer desk, I always keep it really clean.
We keep this space clean. It just looks clean. It's not. Right there's some awfulness, and over there some awfulness, but right here, it's clean.
Our kiddo hangs out down here and plays video games, so it's always pretty.
My wife is OCD and rides my ass. It drives me nuts. That's why you're married, boss.
That's how it goes.
You got to be ready for that.
Let's see. All right. Do you guys have any last minute questions? We're gonna hang out for 5 more minutes. Let me give you guys
OCD 2 kids ago.
Do you guys like freebies? Let's do a quick recap for everyone who joined us late. There are freebies in the video description. So first freebie. Click show more to open the full description, and you'll find my 2019 marketing calendar PDF. You can download those immediately and start using those if you need help with organization, motivation, or if you just need some ideas to market your Etsy products. And then a few notches down, we've got the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. There's a little wolf emoji beside that. You can join for free, hang out with other alphas, ask questions, brainstorm, and this is a really great resource if you need a nice little motivational group to hang out in. And then there is a little lollipop emoji that says get free business candy from Renee Christine. For those who are not familiar with Renee, she started out as my business coach when I first started selling on Etsy. And now she is more of a partner slash BFF slash support coach to me, because she is the one who encouraged me to become a coach as well. But she is also a handmade business coach, not specifically Etsy, but in the realm of handmade. And she has created a really cool program for you guys called the Alpha Sugar Rush, where you can sign up and she will send you tons of freebies that she has created for her audience. So you get like double the freebies from me and her. So be sure to sign up for that down below. Any last minute questions?
Sarah Woodcraft, any news on Architect? You have to ask Renee's peeps about that.
I do have news.
You do?
I do have news. I talked to Renee about Architect because I know that we had talked about it previously, and a bunch of you said that you wanted it. For those who don't know, Architect is Renee Christine's online course that teaches you how to create your own website to sell your products, which is really great to have your own website and your Etsy shop. We'll talk more. We talked about that in our video last week, so go back and watch that if you have questions about it. But we will be working something out, I believe, sometime next month for any of the alphas who are interested in Architect. So super duper exciting. Yay. Let's see.
No more questions.
Comments on dating with overwhelm and burnout would be so appreciated.
Dealing with not dating.
Dating? Oh, dealing. I'm like, dating with overwhelm. Comments on dealing with overwhelm and burnout would be so appreciated. When you get burnt, that's kind of where we were talking about going and making sure that you have something positive that will motivate you to watch either on YouTube or a podcast or a book. I mean, you could even create a playlist, like create a Spotify playlist and listen to it. Everybody has something that really gets them moving and motivated. Sometimes it's working out. For me, I really like listening to public speakers who are already like where I want to be.
When I was doing the bodybuilding thing, I would just watch videos basically of people working out that looked the way that I wanted to look at the time.
Yep. And that will kind of propel you forward. And it's almost like a little bit of refuel. So I think that is extremely important. And there's going to be days when you just feel like poop. Sometimes
you got to take an unintentional day off.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it can be so bad that you're like, you know what? Nah.
I take days off, guys.
Not today. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you feel like that and you don't have a choice.
Yep. But
Such is life, though.
I do take days off. There's days when I tell him, I'm like, I just can't today. I need just a day for me. And every once in a while, I take a day for me. So don't feel bad about taking one day every once in a while. Just avoid taking like a whole week off.
What was the book about choices you recommend? 50 Shades of Grey.
No. It is called The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz.
Don't read 50 Shades of Grey. It's vanilla.
The cover of the Paradox of Choice it's yellow and there are eggs and there's one golden egg like in the egg carton. The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. If you guys want to support wolf conservation, you can go to the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, go into the Files tab, go into the resource library that is listed in the Files tab, and you'll find our affiliate link to purchase that book. 100% of our sales in our Amazon Affiliate Partnership Center go to the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York.
Yep. We have factual proof of that now, too, because it's on our taxes.
It is. Super exciting.
100%.
Yes. We donated quite a bit to wolf conservation this year.
Quite a bit.
We only get like a tiny itty bitty percentage
basically
for Amazon,
nothing.
but
basically nothing.
Hey, I mean, at least you're giving it to wolves and not to what's Amazon?
I don't know. Steve Bezos.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Big
Steve
Jeff.
Bezos. I don't know. Whatever.
Jeff. I love it. 50 Shades. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop off because I can feel my throat starting to die. We hope that you have had... It's starting to die. Mr. Moore has...
50 Shades is vanilla, Mark. You're awesome. It is. Anybody that's into that, you know it's vanilla.
Mr. Moore is going to shut up now. Weirdo. God. Tonight he has a dance to go to with a date that isn't me. You want to tell them about your
father-daughter dance?
Yes, our daughter's first dance is tonight. She is 7 years old, and her very first dance is tonight, and she's going with him. So I'm going to post so many pictures. I'm going to be just the camera mom tonight. And then I'm going to be jealous because I'm going to be sitting home not seeing, any of the cute decorations or anything. So
I like that everybody's agreeing with me, but that's fine.
You guys are all...
I don't have 3 kids for nothing. She knows what's up.
You guys are all gross.
We love
You're nasty. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, and we will not see you next week. We'll see you the Friday after that. Okay? Mark it on your calendar. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.